Our next story is from Africa, from Zimbabwe in the south. The country is planning a railway overhaul and it has decided to go to China for help. Zimbabwe has signed a deal with the Transtech Engineering Corporation. It's a subsidiary of the China Railway Group. The deal is worth $533 million. The hope is that it will breathe new life into Zimbabwe's ailing railways. So first, let's look at the present situation. This is Zimbabwe, a landlocked country in southern Africa. The country has massive mineral reserves. From high-value minerals like lithium and chrome to basics like coal, Zimbabwe has it all. But it's one thing to have mineral wealth and another to be able to profit from it. Zimbabwe has been struggling with that second part. Because even if it extracts the minerals, without transportation, they're gathering dust or going up in smoke, literally. Take this report from last month. It talks about Zimbabwe's coal industry and how it suffers due to poor railway infrastructure. Coal companies are sitting on large stockpiles and they cannot move them. These stockpiles actually spontaneously combust while waiting for transportation. It highlights the problem. Abundant supplies, but no way to address them. That is why Zimbabwe wants to refurbish its railways. Back in the 1990s, when Zimbabwe's rail network was still mostly functional, it transported 18 million tons of freight annually. In 2023, it transported just 2.2 million tons. That's less than 15% of its prime capacity. So what happened here? The simple answer is neglect. Zimbabwe's railway system is over a century old. It was built by the British, just like they built the railways in India and other former colonies. This wasn't charity, though. It was to better exploit the colonies. And once the British got the boot in 1980, Zimbabwe was on its own. That's when they got independence, 1980. And it managed fine for a few years. Then the rail system's age began to show, and the country did not invest in modernization. Over time, the system has fallen to near ruin. Now, Zimbabwe is seeking to revive it. And look at how they plan to do it. With the help of the Chinese. These two countries have a long history of working together. Unfortunately, Zimbabwe has not learned from that history. After it became independent, it was sanctioned by the West. Its government was accused of unfairly treating the white minority population. So Zimbabwe turned to China for help. It knew that Beijing would not give it lectures. This new railway deal is an extension of that old relationship, even if it comes with obvious risks, like the Chinese terms and conditions. You see, Zimbabwe is not the only country where China wants to improve railroads. In nearby Zambia and Tanzania, China is planning to spend $1 billion. This was announced in February. China will revamp a rail line linking Zambian mines to the Indian Ocean. This is to secure access to minerals, the same as with Zimbabwe. But China is not satisfied with just the minerals of Zambia. It also wants to take over the railways of Zambia under a system called Rehabilitate, Operate and Transfer. China will revamp the railway line, and in exchange, it will control the railways for 20 to 25 years. Will Zimbabwe be fine with a similar deal? Is it willing to hand over its rail system to China? Have they done it already? Zimbabwe has been dealing with the Chinese for years. It has not brought great prosperity to the country, despite numerous deals. Why is that? Because when it comes to Beijing, the devil is in the details. There won't be any judgment or lecture, but there's always a price to pay. So the people of Zimbabwe should be wary of what they've signed up for.
First Post reports from the world's second largest continent. Hello, I'm Alison Lagrange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa. We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. South Africa goes to the polls on the 29th of May. I will track the election and bring you ground reports. Is it the end of the road for the African National Congress? And will former President Jacob Zuma stage a dramatic comeback? From elections to climate change to innovations and opportunities. As the world's attention shifts, we report from Africa, the heart of the global south. Join me every weekday live on First Post.